All right. Hooday, what's up, Bengals fan? Welcome into Cincinnati Bengals Talk with Team Sztanyo. This is a real estate channel normally, but I love the Bengals. As a Cincinnati resident growing up here my whole life, I've been following them the whole offseason. Wanted to take a few minutes and talk about not only the amazing season we had last year, but as we're in week one now, heading into the Pittsburgh Steelers week, I want to talk about my favorite offseason moves that happened for the Bengals that I think have us primed for another run at the Super Bowl this year. I think this is our year. I'm going to call it right now. Bengals going back to the Super Bowl. No regression, no backsliding, no Super Bowl slump. We're going back. And I'm going to walk you through the reasons why I think it's going to happen. I want to hear you guys in the chat. Feel free to shout out what your favorite moments of the Bengals were in this offseason. And are we going to make it back to the Super Bowl? Are we going to make it back? Let's talk about it. Okay, I got 5 things here, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. If you have some others, feel free to jump in the chat if you have something you would like to say. My first favorite thing that happened this offseason, technically it didn't happen in the offseason, but going back to February 11th, 2022. Now, the Bengals played in the Super Bowl on February 13th, and as we know, we fell to the Rams. We were so close, right? We were literally, I think, 1 second of protection away. One Quentin Spain shifting Aaron Donald into the protection of Trey Hopkins at center away from Burrow going deep to chase. Jalen Ramsey had fallen down. How many of you saw that tweet by Jay Morrison the next morning? You were already feeling sick to your stomach, and then you woke up and you saw that tweet of Jalen Ramsey on the ground from the All-22, and you knew you were so close. We were so close to winning it all. We didn't win it all, but we're making some good steps here for this season. February 11th, so here's my top thing in the offseason. Zach Taylor, head coach, signed a 5-year contract extension. Now, we all had our thoughts on Zach Taylor prior to last year, right? What all we heard was culture, culture, culture. And then all of a sudden, bam, it all happened. Everything that he had been talking about came to fruition. Now, we had some incredible talent. We had some fortunate bounces go our way. I'm not going to lie on that. But whatever Zach Taylor brought here, it all worked. And so we knew the Bengals were going to be loyal anyway. Obviously, they were super loyal to Marvin Lewis for all those years and kept him around probably a little longer than he should. But look, we need to be grateful for Marvin Lewis, what he did to get the Brown family to where they were, to hire and to make all these changes for the New Direction Bengals. That includes extending Zach Taylor. What he did here got us to the Super Bowl. Youngest coach ever here to do that. He deserves props. He's here for 5 more years. That's my number one first offseason move. Okay, that I like. Second favorite offseason move that I got is on March 2nd, if these dates are right from Bengals.com, March 2nd, 2022, the Bengals designated safety Jesse Bates as the franchise player. Now, a lot of talk this offseason about Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates is a great player, homegrown. The team obviously loves him. He was a captain last year. He turned it on in the playoffs. He was there when it mattered most, made some huge plays, had some interceptions in the playoffs. But the Bengals front office, like him or hate him, a lot of us like him a lot more right now than we did a few years ago. This was the move you had to make. When you look at what's coming up with the salaries, and you heard Mike Brown in the I think it was in the Mock Turtle Soup say, hey, we've got to pay the quarterback and we've got to pay our wide receivers, plural, meaning they want to keep Jamar and T probably. So if you're going to do that, you've got to get some space from somewhere. Bengals franchise Jesse Bates. I'm going to combo this one with the draft pick of Dax Hill. So it was just a really good front office move because they wanted Jesse back. They played it well. Both sides, I think it was not super contentious in the offseason. Both sides were getting business done. Both sides respected and understood each other. You know, Bates held out. He didn't get hurt in camp. He's coming back. We got him for the Super Bowl run. It's like, hey, Jesse, let's make one more run at it. Then you're going to go get your guaranteed money. But it's going to be elsewhere because we drafted Dax Hill. We've got your replacement here. You know, when they drafted Dax and then Tyson Anderson as well, Jesse had no leverage. And as a player, I don't like that for him. As the team, I'm glad because I think it makes us better in this window while we have Burrow here. So I wanted Bates for this year because he's got that experience, and you want to keep your guys if you can, but you understand the Bengals situation because Burrow is going to get the most money of all time. So I thought that was a great move by the front office. The hard thing about the offseason with Jesse was like, is he going to be here or not? But in the end, he's back. You could tell. I mean, he was texting Dax on like the first day of practice. He was at the preseason game, so you knew he was going to go. Shout out to Paul Dehner Jr. for having the right call on that all along. And that's my second top move of the offseason, favorite top move. Okay. Move number 3, or offseason, component that happened number 3 that was my favorite. And let me just transition this over here. It was right off the bat with free agency. I mean, we all knew that, and so my number 3 here is signing Alex Kappa and then Ted Karras right back to back. Kappa was first. I think, if we all heading into free agency, if you guys were following this at all, a lot of people wanted center Ryan Jensen. We were really lacking at that spot. This guy seemed like he was really smart, could be great with Burrow. And we knew that Brady was retiring, and so we could maybe pick him. Maybe he would want to go play with the next best quarterback, essentially. Then Brady comes back. Jensen resigns. We're like, oh, no. But then right away on day one, Bengals say, no, we need to fix our line, and they go get Kappa. And they took Kappa from Brady. I love it. That move was so awesome to me because it was like, Bengals, they've got the right strategy on this. They don't go after those tier 1 superstars that are going to break the bank. They just keep hitting those tier 2 and tier 3 players in free agency that are right for the system, that have the right mindset. And Kappa is huge. I think with Kappa, Karras, and we'll get to, my next favorite was obviously signing the right tackle, Big La'el Collins. But thinking through this offensive line going forward, let me talk about this in a minute. So we signed Kappa, we signed Karras. Right away, you got better at 2 positions on the offensive line. We all know we still got question marks about that left guard position. Carmen blew the job. Cordell is stepping up, but he's still going to be a rookie. Is he going to be okay? We don't really know, but we improved definitely at 3 positions, maybe 4. We got Kappa, we got Karras, and to me the other thing was like right at the start of free agency, it signaled we're legit. Like Bengals are going after it, and it also signaled to me like people wanted to come play for Burrow. So we have that Burrow effect carrying over from the Super Bowl. I think will continue to carry over into next offseason as well because people just want to play for the dude, play with the dude. He's just super talented, and for some reason he's still underrated, which is crazy to me. Spoiler alert, we'll get that to the last one. So we got Kappa, we got Karras right off the bat. We re-signed BJ Hill. Was super happy with all those things. All right, number 4 favorite move of the offseason for me, moving on here, was signing our right tackle La'el Collins to a 3-year deal. Was clearly the best other offensive player out there. Even with the Karras and Kappa move, we knew we needed a tackle. We needed to get better at that position. Just too many sacks. We couldn't go with Isaiah Prince again. And that whole fiasco was super fun to me of like La'el Collins is in town. Did he get out of town? The whole story of Burrow having him over, feeding him crackers and cookies or whatever, and then like La'el spotted at the Kenwood Mall, and there's people like tweeting and Instagramming about it. It was just like, it was fun to be in. See what happens week 1 in terms of the offensive line gelling together, but we got the guy we wanted for not super expensive. We'll see if there are character issues or health issues or whatever that comes back to bite us on that. But as we speak, we have probably a top 10 right tackle. And we've got 3 positions this was where we had to fix. The defense lost nobody except Ogunjobi, and the offense got better where it needed to get fixed, and that was the offensive line. So that was amazing. That was number 3. When I think about this season going forward, if you watched the Bengals last year, you know that it was the defense that carried them through most of the games. The offense was pretty wildly inconsistent. We had a lot of 3 and outs. We had a lot of slow first halves. And it wasn't until like we just hit Jamar deep right before the half where something got going. And because Joe and Jamar and T are so good, we kind of got bailed out of a lot of games. We had those big explosive plays. I think we're going to see less of that this year, potentially, because teams are going to be so scared. They're going to be playing so much too, I don't know schemes, but like they're going to have too high safeties, right? Playing back, trying to not let Jamar and T get over the top. But now we're going to actually have time. The thing that I'm actually most excited about, blocking. How many times have we seen Mixon that first contact 1, 2, 3 yards back in the backfield? Now, what if that's 1, 2 yards positive? Mixon falling forward, getting that 4, 5, 6 yards on first down instead of the 1 or 2 yards or negative yardage or no yardage that we saw so often, where we were 2nd and 10, and it's like you had to make something happen, and then the offense sputtered. I think the offensive line, while providing the pass protection, is huge, and I'm hoping we're going to have time for those double routes. It's going to open up the playbook. We're going to see much more exciting things out of the passing game. But I think the biggest improvement I'm excited to watch is a more consistent running game where we don't have those negative and no yardage gains, because I think that just is going to make the passing game so much better when we're 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, and like maybe not. We had to hit so many 3rd down and longs, 3rd down and mediums last year. Let's stay out of 3rd down. It's going to be, I think the biggest thing we're going to see here, I think the defense is going to be super solid. They only got better. They really lost nothing. Dax looks like amazing, super athletic, and I think Osai is going to be a beast as well. So I think the defense is going to be a top 10, potentially even a top 5 defense. They're going to carry us again as long as Trey stays healthy, because really besides Trey, it is a bit of an unknown. But we've got a strong defense, and I think it might be slow out of the gate because they didn't get a lot of time together in the preseason. But I think a consistent offense that's not just so dependent on the explosive plays is what's going to make us a scary, scary team. Okay, so that's number 4. All right, my 5th favorite thing of the year here, of the offseason, 5th and final. And if you guys, no one's in chat right now, but if you got thoughts on this, leave a comment below, is just the fact that the Bengals were consistently looked down on again. Like the fact that all these articles kind of came out of like, we got lucky, we were lucky on injuries, we were lucky on turnovers, we shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl. And I've got to admit, to a degree, I would say that's right. But you've got to credit the coaching, you've got to credit the players. We took advantage of it. We took advantage of the situations. The Oakland game we had in control the whole time. Titans game, really, we had in control the entire game. I mean, except for that kind of phantom interception off of P. Ryan, we were in control of that game the whole time. KC was like, okay, we're going to lose this game, and then we came back. But give credit to Anarumo. Give credit to that defense. Give credit to the Bengals coming back in that second half and playing amazing. And then the Super Bowl, we were right there the whole time. So this thought that we're going to go backwards, when the defense lost nobody except Ogunjobi and only got better with a couple key acquisitions here, with Osai coming back and Dax Hill, I think that makes us stronger. We're deeper. And the offense is only better with the offensive line. The reason why this is my favorite thing in the offseason, as we saw just article after article of like, these headlines, will the Bengals regress in 2022? And all these people saying we were lucky, we shouldn't have been there. I love this, because to me it just plays up into the hype of we're the underdogs, and we fed off of that last year. Those DJ Reader press conferences where it's like, nobody cares about us, nobody thinks we're going to do anything. I think we can play that up again this year. We're going to be kind of underdogs again. If you look at who everyone's picking for the AFC in this year, it's the same as last year, right? It's like, it's going to be the Chiefs. It's going to be maybe the Chargers. It's going to be certainly the Bills are getting our preseason darlings. And I think the Bills have a really good team. But even picking the AFC North, most people are picking the Ravens over the Bengals. And I love it. Like, if you want to try to put a chip on Joe Burrow's shoulder that he has to go prove something again, I'm like, sweet, awesome. Because I would have thought, you would have thought after making it to the Super Bowl, they'd been like, man, maybe we should give Burrow a little bit more hype. But instead, it's like the other way. They're like, Cincinnati shouldn't have been there. They're going to regress. They're not going to be there again. And I'm like, perfect. This is perfect for this team. They can kind of play that underdog role again. All right, those were my top 5 offseason moves. I just that I thought were great. I just wanted to recap that. I've got today. I scheduled for Sunday night. Oh, if you're a client of mine, please don't text me the scores or the results or anything like that, because I'm a dad of 5 kids. A lot of times what we do is we're going to probably watch more live games this year, but I do the NFL Game Pass and watch it on delayed. I try to avoid the score all day. And then a bunch of other dads that I know, once we've done our responsibilities for the day on Sunday, we come over, we shave off that hour of commercials, and we watch it on tape delay on NFL Game Pass. So I'm pumped for this week. I think we're going to roll the Steelers. I mean, they've got a decent defense, but I think the run game is going to get set early and often with them. And how do you stop a pass rusher like TJ Watt? You just run. So I want to see Kappa and Lyle kind of light him up, blow up some holes, and I think we'll get the play action from there, and I think we're going to roll by double-digit win. I'm pumped. Hooday, Bengals fans. I hope you enjoy the year, and let's make it back to the Super Bowl.